Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Jen's Junk. My name is Jen. For those of you who have watched my videos before, welcome back. For those of you who are new to my channel, thank you for taking the time to check out this video. So today is December 27th, 2020, and today marks the 4-year anniversary of Carrie Fisher's passing. And so I just wanted to jump on here real quick and have just a little talk and some of my thoughts and memories of her in memory of this day. And it's still hard to believe that it's been 4 years since Carrie Fisher has passed away. And she was such a role model for me. I admired her so much, and I would be really curious to see what her quarantine tweets would be. Like, I have a feeling like her quarantine tweets would be the bomb right now, because she is like that. She's just witty and sassy and funny, and I would love to see her quarantine tweets. But I just wanted to jump on here and to talk about her. And you know, I think about her every day. I know that sounds really weird, but I do. And her loss really left a hole in everybody's heart and the fandom. And when I think of Carrie Fisher, I think of someone who was brave, who was courageous, sassy, intelligent, beautiful, authentic. She was not afraid to show herself. She was like, here I am. If you don't like it, too bad. And that really resonates with me. And the older I get, I feel that kind of happening, but I really want to be like her, like more authentic, and not really care what other people think of me. And so that's something I continue to work on, but in that respect, Carrie Fisher was a huge role model for me. As a little girl growing up, you know, during the original trilogy, I naturally gravitated towards Leia. And I remember that her figure was really hard to get, because all the girls were kind of, you know, there weren't that many girls. There were a lot of boys, you know, collecting things. And so I remember it took a while to get her vintage figure. And I just always looked up to her. I always wanted to be her. I had a crush on Luke Skywalker, but I wanted to be Princess Leia. And I had really long straight hair, and I remember everybody, like my friends and even my mom's friend who was a hairdresser, would put my hair into the space buns. You know, it was just a fun memory. You know, when I was growing up, it was, okay, Princess Leia, she's great, I want to be like her. And then as I grew older, I started to know Carrie Fisher as a person. And she, not only was she in Star Wars, but she's been in other movies as well. She was a fantastic writer. She was a script doctor for so many movies, including the Star Wars movies. And she had just so much to share with the world. And so her untimely passing really hit me hard. In fact, that I couldn't watch a Star Wars movie for several months. I bought a magazine that I have right here, the People magazine, and it has all sorts of photos and articles in here about her life. And I picked this up when it came out on stands, but it took me about a year to actually be able to read the articles in here and to look at the pictures, because her loss hit me so incredibly hard. And so today I have some of her books that I wanted to show you. And I thought about doing like showing you my Princess Leia collection, but I just wanted this to be kind of a shorter video. But I highly recommend reading her books, because you get more of a sense of who Carrie Fisher was. And I've read all of her books, but the ones that I have copies of, Surrender the Pink, this was a really fun read. This is fiction, however, it's based loosely on her life with Paul Simon. And it's just a really witty, fun book, very quick read. So I highly recommend reading this book. You get a flavor of her writing and her wit and her funness. Her funness, that doesn't make any sense, but you get the point. You just get a sense of her personality. The next two books, I have Wishful Thinking, which of course was on Broadway, and I saw it on television and I laughed so hard. It's such a great book. It is Carrie at her best. And then Shockaholic is another autobiography of hers. And I highly recommend these two books if you have not read these. Again, it captures her essence, her humor, her determination, her courage, her boldness, her authentic self, and she was not afraid to talk about mental illness. And that's one of the many reasons why I admire Carrie Fisher. She wasn't afraid to talk about being bipolar. And as for someone who was diagnosed with depression, I think that there is still a huge stigma around mental illness, and Carrie Fisher did so much for mental illness and mental illness awareness. And gosh, I love that about her, that she was not afraid to speak openly about that. And I really admired that about her. This next book is by Todd Fisher, her brother, and it's called My Girls, A Lifetime with Carrie and Debbie. And as y'all know, after we lost Carrie Fisher, 24 hours later, we lost her mother, Debbie Reynolds, which was all the more tragic as well. And I highly, highly recommend this book. It's from his perspective. He has a lot of interesting tidbits about Carrie's life, about Debbie's life, and there's pictures in here, and just very, very well written, fascinating life of the family, and I highly, highly recommend this book. Again, it's by Todd Fisher, called My Girls. And then, of course, The Princess Diarist, the infamous book where she reveals that she had an affair with Harrison Ford. I did not know. I could not tell. I know there's some people that have been like, oh yeah, that's obvious. I could not tell. I was surprised. If anything, I thought she would have maybe had something with Mark Hamill because they were so close, and I love their pictures together because they seem so comfortable. So I was actually kind of surprised to find this out. But I mean, it's based on her diaries. I'm sure a lot of you have read this. If you have not, do read it. It's just amazing. Like this one paragraph I found. She says, as much as I may have joked about Star Wars over the years, I liked that I was in those films, particularly as the only girl in an all-boy fantasy. They were fun to make. I liked being Princess Leia, or Princess Leia's being me. Over time, I thought we'd melded into one. I don't think you could think of Leia without my lurking in that thought somewhere. So Princess Leia are us. Bottom line, I was going to be able to pay some, if not all, of my overhead. So then she goes into talking about bills. And that kind of shows you the humor of Carrie Fisher. And I just adore her so much. And here is the magazine. There are some beautiful, beautiful pictures in here. And like I said, it took me a long time to be able to look through this and read through it. I'm not very good at this, am I? But just some fascinating photos of the family, of Carrie, and just, I mean, she had such a remarkable life. I can't even imagine having to grow up the way that she did. And it's just, I don't know, it's just, what a remarkable life. Just a remarkable life. And this last picture in here is just eerily beautiful, with Carrie Fisher sitting off stage watching her mother, Debbie Reynolds, on stage, and their relationship, the closeness that they had was amazing. And so anyway, I just want to jump on here real quick and you know, just remember her. I remember her every day. I think of her every day, which I know sounds kind of crazy, but she was a real inspiration to me. Words cannot describe how much I miss her and how much she inspires me every day. And whenever I have a bad day, I always think, you know, what would Carrie Fisher do? What would Carrie Fisher say? And that, believe it or not, gives me strength. And I know that sounds silly, but it's true. So I wanted to finish by a couple quotes, a couple of my favorite quotes from Carrie. And the first quote is, "If my life wasn't funny, it would just be true, and that is unacceptable." I love that quote because when you think of it, it resonates with me and probably a lot of other people. The next quote is one of my favorites as well. "I am very sane about how crazy I am," and that is in reference to her bipolar disorder. And again, she did so much for mental illness and awareness, and I really admire that. And she was just an amazing, amazing woman, and I wish I would have been lucky enough to meet her. A few of my friends that I've met over the years on Twitter and Instagram have met her, and they said that experience was just, you know, 1 in a million, and I wish I would have been able to meet her. I really do. I think it would have been just an awesome, awesome thing just to be around her energy and her fire. Just an amazing woman. So we miss her. We miss her. I miss her a lot. So anyway, you guys, that is my tribute to Carrie on this day. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you have not already. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and that information is on my About page as well as in the description box below. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, everybody, and have a great Sunday. And until next time, may the force be with you. Miss you, Carrie.